Hello, my name is Renee Jackson, and I am the Southeast Area Minister for the Michigan Conference United Church of Christ, and I'm here to share with you a Faith for Thought moment. In the 3rd chapter of the Old Testament book of 1 Kings, God has a conversation with King Solomon. God says to Solomon, "Ask what I should give you." Now this seemingly simple statement strikes me as just a bit unsettling. It is common to ask God for what we want, but it is another thing to say what God should give us. Well, Solomon responds with reverence and humility. He praises God for what God has already done and acknowledges his own inadequacy for his role as king over Israel. His awareness of the enormous responsibility he has leads him to ask God for an understanding mind so that he may be an effective leader. One thing that stands out for me is that Solomon was able to specify what he wanted because he understood his life's purpose and thus wanted to be equipped to fulfill that purpose. As I think about God's directive for you or I to ask what God should give us, I wonder if our response would be linked to our respective purpose. When we consider our individual life's purpose or that of our congregation, how clear are we about our purpose? Do we really know what we need to fulfill that purpose? And is the purpose we name consistent with God's objectives? The words of the prophet Micah teaches us what our responsibilities are: to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with God. Jesus summed it up by saying, "Love God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself." So imagine God, who still speaks to our troubled world, coming to you and saying, "Ask what I should give you." How do you respond? Hopefully, thanks and praise for what God has already done would be a part of that response. Then, perhaps the request should be for clarity to understand God's purpose for our lives and our ministries. Not what God should do to solve the world's problems, but how God can equip us to fulfill our responsibilities. To do justice, to love kindness, to walk humbly with God, and to love God with all our heart, our mind, and our strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves.